You know, as a fairly popular Titanfall 2 YouTuber, I get asked at least 3 times a year, "Hey Reach, what do you think about Apex Legends?" Now, if you asked me this about 4 or 5 months ago, give or take, I would probably say something like, "Oh yeah, Apex? I mean, it's cool, but I don't know, I think the game kinda sucks now, lol." But you've seen the title of this video. Despite how much I've raged over the years, despite how many terrible decisions have been made surrounding the game, and despite the reputation this game has gotten over the years, I can't help but keep coming back.
Oh! We're so good!
99.
Alright. Super low, 1. Die, bitch! Yours!
Oh my god.
You got it. Oh! Massive nade!
Now, let me get one thing out of the way. I don't hate Respawn, nor do I think Apex quote-unquote robbed us out of Titanfall 3. I'm gonna be honest, Apex is what initially got me into Titanfall 2, and looking at the time and place of when Apex Legends released, I think Respawn did the right thing in making a unique and fun battle royale. That, and I don't really think it's fair to even compare the two games since the way they play is just fundamentally different. Like, I don't think anybody ever complained that something like, I don't know, Minecraft Dungeons wasn't Minecraft 2. Well, actually, considering where we were 6 years ago, I wouldn't be surprised. The point is, Apex deserves to be recognized in its own light without any outside influence, and I will treat it as such in this video. Apex released back in February over 5 years ago in 2019. And you know, 5 years is a long time. Do you want to know where I was 5 years ago? I was still sitting in middle school, where coincidentally enough, that's where I first heard about Apex Legends from a group of friends. At the time, I was still really into Fortnite, and when I first tried Apex out, I didn't even really like it.
Look at me, I'm playing Apex Legends. And I hope I'm gonna win. Ah! I won.
That was insane. Clip that.
However, I still played it since it was the new cool thing that everybody was trying out, and my friends were making me play it, so why not? After a couple of weeks though, I did get enlightened, and that would be the start of my 2-year addiction to the game, where after I got home from school, I'd be pretty much on the game the whole day, just like with Fortnite. When Titanfall 2 became free on PS Plus later that year, Apex was definitely one of the influencing factors when it came to trying it out, since at the time, I was like, oh, this is made by the same people who made Apex. It must be good. And, well, you can tell where I ended up. Good times don't last forever though. You probably noticed that I said my addiction only lasted for about 2 years. Well, up to season 14, you can see that I was keeping at least a solid 500 games per season, with almost 100 wins each time. That doesn't seem so bad. But once we moved to season 15, ever since then, I never really found the motivation to keep playing the game as much as I used to, which led to me uninstalling and quitting the game in season 21 with a measly 24 games. But why did I quit in the first place? Season 14 was when there was a level increase, and Season 15 introduced a whole new map, so what gives? Was it the slow updates, the constant threat of cheaters, questionable studio designs? I mean, sure, that was a part of it, but the main reason why the decline started? Well, I had simply just became bored. I think when it comes to a lot of games nowadays, a lot of people are afraid to just say that they're bored. Like, surely when you play a game for at least 2 or 3 years, pretty much every single day, you're gonna get tired of playing the same thing. But regardless, these people who are bored force themselves to keep playing the game, which I can tell you straight up, that isn't good. If you're forcing yourself to play a game you don't have fun in anymore, you'll just end up hating yourself and the game for really no reason. Yes, the game has flaws, but it's pretty easy to exaggerate the negative when you yourself are feeling negative, if that makes any sense. And so while I was definitely playing the game less and less, my opinion on the game also gradually worsened to the point where I regretted spending my 3,000 plus hours on the game. So yeah, like I said earlier, I ended up quitting the game in season 21, and I was truly prepared to never touch the game again. I won't lie, uninstalling Apex made me feel like there was a weight lifted from my shoulders, and during this time, I felt like I was a lot better mentally, and my game choices during the free time I had were a lot more diverse. But towards the later half of season 22, I reinstalled the game again. And while I was only able to squeeze in a little over 100 games, season 23 was where I finally pulled myself back in for another rodeo. Now, honestly, I couldn't tell you a reason why I came back without it sounding stupid, but I don't know, man. Apex has that special something. I mean, it is my most played game for a reason, right? Now let's actually start talking about why I love Apex. And FYI, I'm not going in any particular order. Number 1. The ping system. Now, Apex isn't the first game ever to have the ping system. You have games like Left 4 Dead 2 and Star Wars Republic Commando, which utilize a very early and bare bones ping system. However, it wasn't really until Apex came along that the ping system was revolutionized and is now a staple in a lot of shooting games. EA actually recognized this too, and even filed and secured a patent for it. Thankfully, they made it free, which is why you can see games such as Overwatch 2 and Fortnite implement this. Anyways, what makes the ping system so great in this game is that it makes it entirely possible to communicate with your team quickly and effectively, all in a matter of seconds with voice lines to boot.
There's a charming spot. I hear ya.
Need attachments? Ping it. Want to attack some enemies? Ping it. Suffering from crippling depression? Ping it? Okay, well, the point is, the ping system pretty much comes with all the tools you need to talk to your squad mates without actually needing to plug in the mic. This is especially great for an introvert like me, who doesn't really mess with other random people, but hey, I'm low-key chill though, and I want to win some games through some good comms. Number 2, the Evo upgrade system. Playing this game now, it's hard to imagine the dark times where we had to land and hope we got a good body shield. With the introduction of the Evo upgrade system though, it's a nice hop and a step away from RNG. Basically, how it works is that everybody starts off with white body shields that have 50 HP. You'll see in the bottom left that I need to gain 450 points to reach the next level. And this is where the system truly shines. You see, there are multiple ways to gain these Evo points, whether you're going around the map and looting the special Evo caches, interacting with specific items attributed to your legend class like weapon loot bins, or just by simply doing things the old-fashioned way and shooting your enemies down in cold blood. With each level, you gain upgrades to your legend, and you also gain an extra 25 shield health. The exception to this is level 4, where you only gain the extra 25 shield health for a total of 225 health max. Basically, the better you're doing, the more likely it is that you'll keep doing better. In a battle royale format where only the best of the best can win, this is a great system to encourage roaming around the map and to, you know, actually participate in the fighting instead of just hunkering down and doing nothing. Number 3, it's a 3-man battle royale. Now, this is probably a strange and very specific thing to like, but I don't know, man. When it comes to at least this game, 3 is just the magic number. Solos doesn't really work in this game since a lot of the Legends abilities are kinda team-based, and in order to make solos work, you would probably need to include a lot of quality of life improvements. Duos isn't so bad, but if you or your teammate goes down, there's like a 99% chance you kinda lose since it's a guaranteed 1v2.
No, why? What the fuck did these guys even come from? We landed on that side.
It's pretty good though if you want something more casual and quick than trios. Now, quads is interesting, but I feel like it doesn't really work out that well. Things can already be pretty hectic with 3 people, and I feel like a 4th person would just further that issue. This can also lead to other issues, like maybe a need for legend rebalancing, since some legend ability combos could be nasty, the amount of clutter there would be since more people are involved in a fight at once, and I can definitely see fights being way too drawn out without a third party interfering. Trios though is just mwah. 3 people is just the right amount, as it's a big enough number to pull off some satisfying team plays, and yeah, it just feels good. Number 4, the gunplay and movement. Of course, since this game was made by Respawn and is set in the Titanfall universe, we're eating good when it comes to the base movement and gunplay. While fans of Titanfall 2 may lament that this is obviously a slower game, that's an intentional design choice. This game was meant to be slowed down for competitive play, and when you compare it to other Battle Royale games, you'll see just how fast this game feels compared to something like Warzone and Fortnite. The closest example I can think of when it comes to a fast Battle Royale game that could actually be faster than Apex now that I think about it is Hyperscape. And if you just ask yourself, what's Hyperscape? Well, there's a reason nobody talks about it anymore. Anyways, for a competitive Battle Royale, Apex manages to do it just right with its movement system, and just like Titanfall 2, there are ways to further evolve your movement if you so choose. Going over to gunplay, there's not much to say. All the weapons feel great to fire, and I think each weapon brings something unique to the table. Number 5, the Legends. Don't get me wrong, I love my customizable no-name nobody soldier just as much as the next guy, but a lot of the Legends in Apex are very likable and compelling. For example, there's Wraith, whose background is shrouded in the shady facilities of the IMC. Revenant, a simulacrum who wishes to die after his programming failed him, which caused him to see what he had truly become. And of course, the fan favorite, Ashe, who had her lore expanded beyond a random mercenary in Titanfall 2 through her split personality and involvement with Horizon. With a setting like Titanfall, there are so many possibilities when it comes to lore and stories that I can't help but be interested in. It's also really fun to play these legends with all their unique abilities and combos, and when it does come to showing off their personality, I think each legend owns it to the max. Number 6, and finally, the competitive drive. This is a big one. This final reason is why I return to Apex Legends. Sure, I can complain about bad teammates, sure, I can complain about metas, sure, I can complain about the skill-based matchmaking, but at the end of the day, there's not many things I feel as great as clutching out a very well-deserved win over the other 50+ people in the lobby.
We won!
Oh my god.
Ah!
Apex is a competitive game. both in design and as a literal in-universe setting. So when people say, "Oh man, this game is so sweaty," I can only really ever think, yeah, that's the point. Different games play to different strengths, and so if I wanted to play something low stress without much effort, why the hell would I play something like Apex? And that brings me to the ranked mode. Being able to compete neck to neck with other good players trying to climb their way up the ladder is genuinely fun as you start racking more and more points. Ranked, I feel, also changes how you fundamentally think about the game, because now you gotta make so many micro decisions that can end up with you getting demoted or pushing through all the way to the end. Should I pick this up? What weapons are the most optimal? What abilities should I use next? It's all these little things that craft Apex into such a strategic shooter. Now, I usually play with one other friend, and you know, I'm not really the commander type, but projecting my voice, making plays, it's really fun.
Unless you want to do something ballsy and... Oh, wait, we can push out. You gotta jump pad? You gotta jump pad?
Yeah.
And so, those are the main reasons why I love Apex, and also why I've gone back into it. There are also plenty of other smaller reasons why I like this game, like the map design and the gameplay features, like the survival items, but I don't want to take too long. And yeah, I could probably end the video here. But you didn't think I was done yet, right? I'm a delusional Titanfall 2 guy, and even I can realize when some parts of my game just flat out suck.
First diamond match. Okay.
I don't know, man. If
First diamond match, 3 friends. Okay, man.
Hey, I told you, Duran team. I told you.
Number 4.
I told you. I told.
So let's talk about what I don't like in Apex. Number 1, the lack of lore. Starting off with something small, this isn't the biggest deal breaker in the world. Like I said, Apex does have interesting and compelling characters, but it's clear that some characters get more love than others. Apex also has a bad habit of sidelining characters. For example, there's Pathfinder's kid. Okay. There's the whole thing about Vantage's mom. Mirage seems like he exists for only comedic relief now. And there's also the whole thing about Crypto's sister. Like, what is going on? Hell, if you go to the Apex Legends website, they have something called the Lore Hub. But get this, it hasn't been updated in 2 seasons. What the fuck, Respawn? Number 2, the monetization. Okay, so what is generally the point of having a split for the Battle Pass? Because it's pretty obvious this is just a way for dumb people to pay more. And these Battle Pass upgrades can only be bought with real money? That seems kinda stupid. That's the whole reason Apex coins exist, so that we don't have to do that. But instead, we can just save. There's also the addition of a new type of exotic currency, which is as expensive as it sounds. It just feels like everywhere I look, EA/Respawn want me to get the shiny new thing. Also, this is a nitpicky kind of thing, but universal heirlooms? Really? In theory, this is good because, wow, the melee cosmetic isn't restricted by legend choice anymore. But, I don't know, man. I feel like the whole point of heirlooms was to showcase the personality and uniqueness of a legend, rather than just being a thing you equip so that you can have something on your screen. To that end, we also have so many heirlooms that, at this point, I'm surprised Respawn hasn't upped the chances of getting one in the first place. Number 3, the solo queue experience is terrible. If you haven't noticed already, in every single gameplay clip that includes me, I always have my buddy Rodriguez with me. And that's because the solo queue experience is absolutely terrible. This is where the 3-man format kind of works against this game, because all it takes is 1 weak link and it all goes downhill from there. Now of course, this can be mitigated if you use something like the voice chat or the text chat, but these days with how people are on the internet, sometimes it's really not worth trying to say something without somebody cussing you out or just flat out ignoring you anyways. Also, why does 80% of the player base just not use pings or just ignore them? Ah yes, I love it when I have to guess where my teammate wants to land, just for them to go somewhere completely different with a super late ping. Point is, people are stupid, and that's not gonna change anytime soon. So if you do end up playing, please take my advice and grab one other person, otherwise you might actually go insane. Number 4, slow updates and questionable design choices. Another thing you may have noticed is that the gameplay footage only consists of ranked. And that's because at the time of recording this, there's an event going on that introduces these things called Rift Relics. Basically, in the pub game modes of trios and duos, these things spawn and they honestly just ruin the entire balance of the game because the whole gimmick of these things is that they include broken/overpowered weapons from the past. It sounds cool, until you realize that these things spawn all over the map and are just easily obtainable. I don't think I need to tell you why getting a care packaged Mastiff in round 1 is just not good. All I want is to play regular duos. If I wanted to play with broken and OG weapons, I would have gladly played another mode dedicated to that. But nope. If I want the regular Apex experience, it's time to grind ranked. Also, don't quote me on this since I missed a season, but I always felt like this game kind of just moves pretty slowly when it comes to addressing balancing or other issues. Like right now, we're in the middle of a pretty gnarly meta. For some reason, they decided to buff supports, and you know, that's cool. Supports in this game were always really kind of underrated. But man, they really went way too far with the buffs, IMO. Moving at full speed while healing, small heals counting for double, faster revives across the board with HP regen, and being able to get mobile respawn beacons from crafting and ally death boxes, that is absurdly strong when you compare those perks to the skirmisher class who can see what care packages contain. And that's about it. Okay, yeah, so those buffs are kind of overkill, but it's not the most game-breaking thing in the world. However, they decided to absurdly buff the support legends themselves too, and they nerfed their counters? What? Like, some of these are just flat out ridiculous. Crypto ult is basically useless against a full team of support legends now, so that's cool. And you know, I thought infinite health shields were bad for the game, considering that's why Lifeline got hers removed, but now we've got something similar to that in the form of Newcastle's moving tactical shield. Honestly, if they were gonna giga buff supports to this extent, they should have also looked at the other class perks as well and buffed those at the same time so that people could experiment with different comps. But yeah, it kind of feels bad when knocking somebody down and capitalizing on it is a lot harder than ever. Guess we'll have to wait till next season though for another major change. And yeah, that's about it. Despite all of its shortcomings, I just can't seem to escape the grip this game has on me. Whether I'll come to actually regret it, who knows. Anyways, feel free to drop a like on the video and subscribe because holy balls, we're almost at 10k subs. There's also a Discord link in the description, and if you want extra perks, you can choose to support me through YouTube memberships. Anyways, that's all from me, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.